Jerome Powell, the Fed, and rate cuts. What's the latest odds that we're going to get something to pump the market? I've got that, along with XRP and HBAR price action. Cash is piling up on the sidelines.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And how are y'all feeling knowing that JP and the Fed in 22 hours, 43 minutes, and 38 seconds are going to make their rate decision? Don't worry, I've got the odds for you, and it's pretty much guaranteed. But before we get into the crypto news, you know the deal. You, the viewer, matter most. That's why I share your comments at the beginning. Well, my wife comes first, but the viewers come first in videos. R. Kennedy says, I'm waiting for the utility run. Screw the bull run. Well done. I love it. That's actually a pretty cool phrase. Screw the bull run. Let's go for the utility run. Mike Piercy says, over the past 3 years, I sold silver little by little to learn trading crypto. Big mistake. Crypto is a shit asset. Anything that can be moved by a fucking tweet has to have rate cuts, and money printing to progress is a shit asset. I'm out. Accept my short. Get lies and manipulation. I'll keep my shiny. Thank you. Much love, bitches. What about true bitches, Mike? A lot of us here are silver and gold stackers as well, and we're seeing the frustration in the markets. Yeah, I trust me, I totally understand. And the pump and dump crap, especially like with Pi Network, anything big out there, it's extremely frustrating. St. Modern says, if I've learned anything from crypto, is that pronouncing the bull run is over is probably the best way to get it to pump. Just like when Kramer said that Bitcoin was dead and then Bitcoin rallied. Bitcoin sitting at 82,038, ETH 1893. We can't even break 1900 on ETH. XRP at 225. We're going to talk price action at the end, along with HBAR sitting at 18.5, XLM at 26.9. TRX I won't touch, so I won't talk about it. ADA is 69. Nice sense that is. SOL at 124 and BNB rounding it out at 633. Talked a lot about the different sectors in crypto and blockchain and where the money is going to come from, right? Remember the big boost that came from meme, and then the boost from tokenization, the boost from the launch meme pads, all that kind of stuff? Well, what about crypto gaming? Sky Mavis co-founder reveals crypto gaming's biggest hurdles. I'm going to sum this up for you really quick. If I have any gamers watching right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The gaming industry sucks massive balls. So just because you add crypto to it doesn't make it suck less balls. Hey, think about it. Some of the biggest games out there are rehashes from like 10, 15 years ago. There's nothing new coming out. The latest Call of Duty game lasts for like a month. Other big AAA games do jack shit on Steam. The gaming industry is lacking what? Lacking something fresh and hot. Crypto needs something fresh and hot. But adding crypto to gaming ain't gonna make it work, girlfriend. You don't want to deal with microtransactions in the middle of the game. You just want a game that works great. So no. Crypto gaming's biggest hurdles are what? The fact that gaming itself sucks. Yeah, hot take. Katie Juan, crypto has many more use cases than we imagined. Well, Katie, what are they? Because I gotta be honest with you, we're not seeing them play out on the screen. How many of you watching right now use crypto? And I'm not talking about trading it, I'm actually talking about using it. How many of you use crypto to maybe send money back home to your family? How many of you out there use crypto as a collateral asset for a loan? I mean, let me know, seriously, let me know down below if you use crypto other than speculative assets. This is what she says. We think of crypto as meaning something different than just cryptocurrency. What we mean when we say crypto is cryptographic proofs paired with economic incentives. Thought of that way, the space is much broader. Okay. There are financial services, financial infrastructure, things like Bitcoin, things like Ethereum and Solana. But there are also later stage companies built to service protocols that picks and shovels companies. You will, custodians. Okay, cool. But if it's custodians of crypto, then that's just a piggyback of crypto. We're looking for the real utility, and I gotta ask y'all, would you really use your XRP HBAR as a payment? Or do you use your fiat as payments? When you go to the local bodega to stock up on juicy muffins, do you go, hey bro, I'm gonna use my crypto to pay with this? No, you just pull out your debit card and just tap that bitch and roll on out. Crypto as a store of value? Yes, I will give you that because we've seen BTC big. In terms of loan backing, yeah, we've seen that used as well. BTC and ETH are often used as backers for loans. But that's not going to get us what we need to. And we sure as shit ain't going to get anywhere from gaming being thrown into crypto. How many big piece of shit games have been built with crypto? They're like all pieces of shit. There was actually one built on XRPL. It was a first-person shooter, kind of like a Call of Duty type game. Dude, it sucked. It was just a total junk garbage game that no one gave a crap about. And how much time was wasted on that? Yeah. All right. Bull crash drives the biggest drop in U.S. equity allocation. Now, this is interesting. This is cash being built up on the sidelines. When cash is built up on the sidelines, what does it mean? Well, it means, number one, that they don't want to get into the market. It means, number two, they're ready to spend when conditions change. Global investors raised their allocation of cash to 4.1% from 3.5%. That's a big jump, ending a sell signal triggered in December with the speed of the downturn and the sentiment being consistent with the end of equity correction. Global growth expectations also saw the second biggest drop on record, but at the same time, allocation to Eurozone stocks was the highest since July of 2021, with banks becoming the world's favorite sector. Basically, what we're seeing is a lot of players are putting cash on the side. Certain zones are hotter than others, but overall, players are seeing a lot of risk in the market. We had a little bit of a Middle East flare-up, didn't we, last night? Yes, we did. That's not good for the crypto markets. That's what pumps gold and other shiny assets like that, other store of value assets like that, the volatility. Okay, tomorrow, we got a live stream. Or today, if you're a DGen and you don't hit the notification bell and you watch news late. No, watch news right away. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get the news right away. Tomorrow, look for this, or Wednesday, just in case you're watching this on Wednesday. Look for Jerome Powell, his hands up in the air saying, I don't fucking know, bitches. And look for the green heat map up on the screen because we're going to be talking about rate decision live. FOMC meeting. And this meeting is different because it has economic projections tied in. Now, this meeting is currently 22 hours and 37 minutes away. So what's the likelihood that Jerome Powell's going to pause? 99%. So heaven help me. If any piece of crap influencers or shillers out there say, oh, be ready for Jerome Powell to cut. Be ready for rates to go. Rates are not going to go down. We had one good CPI data report with 4 bad ones before that. So no, that one report wasn't good enough to outdo 4. Now, if by the odd lightning strike me now, I'm just looking to see if lightning's going to strike me. If we do get a rate cut, the market will freaking mega rally. What you're seeing up on the screen right now would be green, like greener than the water of the Chicago River for St. Patrick's Day celebration. But we're not going to get that. And in fact, we've seen over the last month, the odds have been only as high as 4% for a rate cut. So that's not high. Wish I was. Now we're sitting at a 1% chance of a rate cut. So we're going to get a pause, everyone. That being said, the market priced it in. We know that. So what's the fear with tomorrow? Well, the fear is that this man here up on the screen in the purple tie and the blue suit is going to say some negative shit. He's going to talk about economy being strong so it can handle higher rates for longer. He's going to talk about macros sucking ass and how one good report isn't going to change our viewpoints on things. He's going to talk about turmoil. He's going to talk about different asset classes out there. And that's what we're concerned with. It's what he says. So at 2 p.m. Eastern time, it's the decision. But at 2:30 p.m., Jerome Powell goes on the mic. And when Jerome Powell goes on the mic, I join the chat, don't I? And I have a lot of fun in the chat. And usually you have a lot of fun as well. So join us for that live stream tomorrow, where we have a 99% chance of a pause. Go to the May contract, 82% chance of a pause. That's not good either. Go to the June contract, we finally get a 65% chance that we're going to get a rate cut. So we might have to wait a couple meetings. But remember, those hopium pumpers out there are going to tell you, oh, JP's going to cut it. JP ain't cutting shit. By the way, join us tomorrow. Trust me, you'll have fun. Overall in the crypto market, we're sitting at 25 in the fear and greed scale. Volume is still just atrociously low at 70 billion. The hope is that the volume right now is on pause until we get further guidance from the Fed. That's the absolute hope right now. If we don't see volume tick up tomorrow, we're going to have some problem. We're going to have some problem because the whole idea of cash building up on the sideline is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and crypto volumes will go down, down, down. Speaking of, HBAR, not looking so good here, right? Last 7 days, we're down 8%. You look at the month, okay, not that good either. Look at the year and you're like, okay, this is cool. We pumped a whole bunch during the Trump election talk, but since then we haven't been able to keep the gains. In fact, HBAR is struggling right now to hold anything close to 20 cents. Now, that does present believers out there buying opportunities. So if you believe, you're able to gobble that stuff up pretty cheap compared to what we've seen here as of late. But to get back up to 30 cents, we're going to need something wild to get us there. And here's why I'm saying that. Because when the strategic reserve was announced, we didn't get up to 30 cents. So we're going to need something even bigger than that to get our HBAR bags a bit more in the green. And since St. Patrick's Day passed and the leprechauns are gone and all the gold at the end of the rainbow is really gold and not crypto, well, oh shit, we got to look elsewhere. Volume for HBAR, pathetic. 182 million in the last 24 hours. I'm a big HBAR fan, but the stats suck. And that's my job, to tell you the news, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad. So no, I'm not going to whine you down, you 69 you and fluff you up. Hell no. I'm going to tell you right now what's happening. Money is being put on the sidelines. Yeah, there's a lot of concern right now with Jerome Powell and the Fed. There's a bunch of concern with liquidity. There's a bunch of concern that volume now is starting to go back to pre-election hysteria levels. That's not good, everyone. Do we have an HBAR ETF on the horizon? Yes, we do. Is that going to be enough to turn the ship around? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Regs, same thing. Now let's talk about XRP. All right, another chart that doesn't look good for the day, down almost 5% for the day. Starting to price in the negativity with Jerome Powell? Sure seems like it. Go to the 7-day and you're like, okay, this isn't such a bad chart. We had some pumps. People wanted to squeeze out some juicy profits above 240. They had those opportunities. But here we are back in the meh zone. At 225, XRP isn't that cheap because we know you could get it for less than $2. So it's not cheap enough to be gobbling up and buying like crazy, unless you're Michael Saylor and you don't give a shit whether you buy the dip or the tip and you just throw other people's money at the wall. But you and I both use our own money when we invest in crypto. We're not selling stocks or bullshit like that or taking loans from our parents to get crypto. No, we're using our own money. So right now at 225 XRP, it's not high enough for juicy profits, and it ain't low enough for juicy buys. Volume for XRP, 3.4 billion. Not bad considering the average is 1 to 2 billion. That was before the Trump action, but we're nowhere near the highs that we used to be. And XRP is following a similar story as HBAR, but we do have the case, which is a little bit different. Quite a few more ETF filings, 3 of which are buying directly from exchanges, which is good for us. Screw the OTC buy-in. So yeah, regs would benefit XRP as well. But we're back to where we are in the beginning. What is it going to take to get us there? Gaming ain't going to do shit. There were players that built games on XRPL, and they didn't do jack shit. They sucked. Massive flops. Balls. Right? ODL for XRP. Balls. Strategic reserve? Yeah, you saw it. It was a pump and then a dump. And in fact, it's been now a few weeks since the announcement of the strategic reserve, and no one's even really talking about it anymore. It seemed like it was all a big about nothing, maybe a pump for insiders, when that was mentioned via the tweet. So we're sitting here, whether you're HBAR, XRP, XLM holder, we're all sitting here looking at the same thing. Yo, we need something good to turn this ship around, because we sure as shit know Jerome Powell ain't going to give us anything good tomorrow, with a 99% chance that he's going to pause, and with a 100% chance that he's going to be a prick, and probably spook the market even further. But the market's pricing in a lot of red right now, pricing in the anticipation of pissy pants Jerome Powell. But join us tomorrow so we can watch it live, for the rare hope that we get something juicy out of it, and it turns the screen St. Patrick's Day green. Electrolytes. That's because I just went running. Well, I wouldn't call it running. I went hobbling, okay? I'm trying to actively recover from my race. So I did a little bit of elliptical yesterday. I actually went running today. Yeah, trying something different. And maybe the crypto market should do the same thing that I just said. Do something different. Tokenization ain't going to get us there. If we're waiting for Jerome Powell, we're going to be waiting a while because be honest with me here. If Jerome Powell decides to cut in June by a quarter, ooh, now we went from 400 to 425 BPS. Ooh. You know how long it's going to take if we do these cuts once, twice a year to get us back down into levels where VC wants to jump in and actually build on crypto? It's going to take a long time. Meanwhile, gold is still... Gold's on Viagra. Cash on the sideline? Viagra. Stable coin balances? Viagra. Yeah. Players are treating the market right now with like supreme caution. They're looking at it going, yo, there's a lot of global conditions going on. Yeah, crypto's talking about X, Y, and Z, but it sure as hell ain't pumping the price. I mean, be real with me. Look me straight in the face right now and tell me that tokenization is going to move the next crypto to the next level. No, it's not. Oh, meme coin launchpads are going to... No, that bubble is burst. The NFT bubble is burst. Gaming on crypto is a bubble that burst. We need something new. We need real utility. So just like your comment said in the beginning, screw the bull one, I want the utility run. Okay, cool. What utility are we talking about? Because as of right now, pretty much everyone who's watching this video is a speculator, not a user. And we need more users and less speculators to drive value in the market. Choo choo bitches. Join me for the live stream, Jerome Powell, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time for the rate announcement, 2:30 for him on the mic. I'll do it again. Choo choo bitches.